Hello, everyone. It's Greyson, and this is Greyson Talks Everything. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Glad to have you here. We have an amazing discussion, as always, on this channel. And if you are returning or already subscribed, welcome back. Again, we have an amazing discussion. If you're willing to stick around to the video, and if you like what you see here, do be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And also follow my Instagram where you can get the latest updates on when videos are in the works or are coming out. And to admire some art that I regularly post, some of my own fan art that I make regularly, which you can see somewhere on the screen right here. The link to my Instagram will always be in the description, but my Instagram tag will show up on the screen as well, somewhere around the screen. So, yeah. Let's get to this video. We're talking about WandaVision episode 8. I haven't said this in a while because usually the spoiler warning is in the caption, but spoilers ahead for this one because we have some major reveals. So, yeah, get ready for that. We're going over 3 big reveals this week, or from this episode. Yeah, let's just get this on the road. So for the first time when I watched episode 8, I honestly found it quite hilarious and weird at the same time that for episode 8 to be probably the longest episode we've had so far, to give us the least amount of answers to our burning questions, or at least the least amount of answers to the questions we had. But they gave us a lot of answers to questions we didn't even know we had, so I thought that was interesting. But yeah, we didn't get answers about how WandaVision will tie into the multiverse and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. But I do have some theories on that, which you can find in my last video that I made about WandaVision. We don't know who Ralph is. We don't know what Agnes's book that we saw in episode 7 is all about. We don't know what Evan Peters is doing in WandaVision. We don't know if mutants will be tied into the through WandaVision. We don't know what happens to Billy and Tommy. We don't know who Dottie is. And we don't know who's in the witness protection program that Jimmy Woo mentioned in episode 4. So we don't have a lot of answers to those burning questions that we've been asking. But like I just said, we do get a little bit more information, so I think the best way to start off this video is to give you a little summary of what's going on. So, of what's going on in episode 8. So, Wanda, after learning that her neighbor was secretly an ancient witch called Agatha Harkness, is forced to embark on a troubling journey revisiting her past and learning more about her past for insight into her present and future. And while I was watching it, it kind of seemed familiar to me, but then again, it was weird. It really started to make sense when I looked back at it, and it was like, oh my goodness, Agatha Harkness is making Wanda perform shadow work. And if you don't know what shadow work is the process of exploring your inner darkness or shadow self. And your shadow self is a part of your conscious or unconscious mind and contains everything you feel ashamed of thinking and feeling, as well as every impulse, repressed idea, desire, fear, and perversion that for one reason or another is making you not tap into your full ability or power. And it's used by spiritual leaders and witches and like spiritual lore. They have to go on this journey, this shadow working journey, to unlock and break down those perversions and those shameful thoughts and sad feelings, so you can unlock your full extent of your power and your full potential. So Agatha, throughout this entire episode, was trying to make Wanda do shadow work so she can unlock her full potential and become the Scarlet Witch and use the full intent of her chaos magic, which we'll get into next. So I thought that was very interesting and very cool that they incorporated that in there. And speaking of witches, I really like the beginning scene where we saw Agatha in Winston-Salem, or not Winston-Salem, but Salem, Massachusetts. So I thought that was pretty cool, that entire Salem witch trial scene. I thought that was amazing, and the VFX were fantastic. So at the tail end of episode 8, Agatha confronts Wanda has her children captive, and she says that Wanda's not using the full extent of her powers, and now she knows why, and the power that she's holding is called chaos magic, making Wanda the Scarlet Witch, which we'll get to her, like, the context of the Scarlet Witch mantle later. But the thing that was on a lot of people's mind is, what exactly is chaos magic? So, in the comics, chaos magic is the name of a magic so powerful that it was thought to be non-existent by even the modern Sorcerer Supreme himself, Doctor Strange. This magic can manipulate, warp, and reconstruct the very fabric of existence and reality to the user's very whims, and bring about total destruction to the cosmos. Long ago, the Elder God and Archdemon Sithon used chaos magic to rule the earth as the god of chaos. However, Earth's mages gathered and ended his reign with a single lie. They said that there is no god of chaos and that there is no chaos magic. Sithon was later sealed within Mount Wundagore, the eventual birthplace of Wanda Maximoff. The newborn Wanda was touched by the hand of the degenerate elder god Sithon, which left her with a fraction of his power and allowed her to control chaos, energy, and alter reality itself beyond recognition. Without Sithon's intervention, Wanda's mutate powers would have instead manifested as simply energy manipulation. Under tutoring from Agatha Harkness, Wanda later went on to learn to harness the mystic chaos energy as chaos magic, without knowing its true name at first, and use it for a variety of effects beyond the simple hexes which she innately performed with it previously. So, with knowing what chaos magic is, let's move on and talk about the mantle, the true mantle of the Scarlet Witch, in the comics at least, and what it might mean for the MCU therefore and in the future. As a key member of the Avengers for years in the MCU, Wanda Maximoff has operated without a code name. All this time, the world has known her as an Avenger named Wanda, and nothing more. Well, that has changed now, hasn't it? In WandaVision Episode 8, previously on, that's the title of Episode 8, Wanda walks through the past. She and we see her history leading up to Westview, as well as Agatha Harkness' early days as well. The painful but cathartic trip through Wanda's memories ends with a huge reveal about Wanda. Her hex power is actually chaos magic, making her not just the Scarlet Witch, but the Scarlet Witch. So let's break it all down. In the comics, Wanda's backstory is a touchy subject. At first, she and her brother Pietro were the children of classic superhero Wizard, who had the same powers as his supposed son, super speed. Then, later on, they were revealed to actually be the mutant children of Magneto, who were adopted by Myra and Django Maximoff. In 2016, though, that backstory turned out to be false as well when Wanda realized she and her brother weren't mutants at all, but results of experimentation by the High Evolutionary. In the 2016 comic Scarlet Witch Volume 2, Issue 4, Wanda goes on a journey much like the one she goes on in WandaVision Episode 8, also accompanied by the ghost of her mentor Agatha Harkness. She seeks out the truth of her true parentage and finds the spirit of her biological mother, Natalia Maximoff, her adoptive father's sister. Wanda watches in confusion as she conquers a magical creature with her sorcery while dressed in Wanda's classic Scarlet Witch costume. Agatha explains that Wanda's moniker of the Scarlet Witch is not just a nickname that she made up, but a legacy of magical people in her family that have used the Scarlet Witch title. All this time, Wanda believed that the name came to her fully formed, but in reality, it was a part of her inheritance. However, that doesn't really explain why Agatha highlights Wanda's chaos magic at the end of WandaVision Episode 8. Chaos magic also has precedence in the comics, but not in connection with the long line of Scarlet Witches. While Wanda's powers in the comics are a result of experimentation by the High Evolutionary on Mount Wundagore, inside the mountain lurks a horrible secret, the long-buried elder god Sithon. Sithon affects a newborn Wanda, giving her a fraction of his powers. That, combined with energy manipulation from experimentation, resulted in fearsome reality warping magic. It looks like WandaVision is going to combine these two comic storylines into one, where Wanda is next in a long line of Scarlet Witches, a pantheon of mythical sorcerers who can all use chaos magic. Whether this chaos magic comes from an elder god or some being of the MCU origin, Wanda is further proving herself to be much stronger than she first appeared. So what does this entail for Wanda Maximoff in episode 9, the series finale? Well, we actually have a pretty good idea, and we have to look back at some of the other commercials or the past commercials that have showed up in WandaVision episodes, specifically in episode 7. It was episode 6 actually. And it was when the shark was promoting Yo Magic, and the kid was trying to get Yo Magic, but the shark was kind of like, basically it was a shark who was trying to promote Yo Magic, and it was like the snack for survivors, kind of innuendoing that somebody's trying to feed off of Wanda's magic, which we now know is Agatha Harkness. But the thing is, why does Agatha want Wanda's magic? Probably because her having chaos magic and the combined force of her being a Nexus being gives Wanda a noble amount of power that Agatha wants. And we know by the beginning of the episode 8 that Agatha has a real thirst for knowledge and a real thirst for power and magic. So Wanda having so many spells under her belt without even knowing it, and just the raw power Wanda holds, definitely sets Agatha off and just ready to feast on her magic. So we'll probably see that resolve in episode 9, the series finale. So let's talk about that big reveal at the end of WandaVision episode 8 in the end credits scene. WandaVision episode 8 includes the debut of a brand new White Vision as a part of the revelation of S.W.O.R.D's plans for Vision's corpse after Avengers Infinity War. The character may be brand new to the MCU, but was a part of the Avengers West Coast team thanks to an important arc that appears to be the source of the last part of WandaVision's story, John Byrne's Vision Quest. But the key question is why Vision was white in the comics and what that means for the Disney Plus show. WandaVision episode 5 included the first hint of S.W.O.R.D's true plan for Vision, confirming that the Scarlet Witch broke into a top-secret S.W.O.R.D facility and stole the corpse of Vision, supposedly violating Vision's living will in Section 36B of the Sokovia Accords. The mystery of the gap from her rescuing her dead soulmate to his reanimation in Westview had been a carefully constructed one, designed to feed into the suspicions around acting director Hayward and Project Cataract without being specific enough to reveal the truth. That truth, revealed explosively in episode 8, was that Cataract was always an allusion to Vision, which is clearly why the name was chosen, and it was S.W.O.R.D who violated Vision's living will. The striking white design of the new S.W.O.R.D Vision is both a reference to Byrne's 1989 comic arc Vision Quest and also to the established logic of the MCU's design decisions. In the comics, Vision loses his color thanks to being disassembled by a multinational task force led by Cameron Brock that deactivated and dismantled him in response to him taking over America's nuclear weapons. In a moment recaptured by WandaVision's 5th episode flashback when the Scarlet Witch found her missing husband to be short, he was chillingly dismembered. Though Hank Pym was able to rebuild him, the cost of that revival was Vision's humanity, which had been originally introduced when Ultron created him using the brain patterns of the then deceased Simon Williams, aka Wonder Man. Though Pym was able to bring him back, Vision returned as a colorless, emotionless android, his skin damaged irreparably by the experiments that ripped him apart. The parallels between the Vision Quest arc and what's happened with S.W.O.R.D and Vision's corpse in WandaVision are almost impossible to ignore. The idea of an agency's mistrusting superheroes and recognizing the specific threat and value of Vision, coupled with his dismantling, obviously stands out. But so too does the idea that bringing him back couldn't quite restore everything that was lost, as was Wanda's sight of his reanimated corpse proved. Ultimately, that decision was arguably even more tragic for Wanda than bringing back Vision as the white, emotionless shadow who wouldn't have fit with Wanda's fake reality. The fact that she was given the opportunity of Vision's return from death with the haunting caveat that he will probably be lost again is even more heartbreaking. In the MCU terms specifically, Vision's colors are already tied to his vitality. When Wanda and then Thanos kill him at the end of Avengers Infinity War, the synthezoid fades to a deathly gray, confirming his color is a choice. That makes sense in terms of the logic of his creation, because Dr. Helen Cho's regeneration chamber gifted Vision a synthetic flesh made also using vibranium that allows his phasing powers. The color element was added by Cho's process, but was an early extension of Vision's individuality. When he died, his essence faded and the husk of his body remained, colorless and cold, which ultimately is what Wanda saw when she saw Vision's reanimated corpse earlier in the season. The white version from the comics is a stark reminder in WandaVision of what made Vision more than just an android. So that's my breakdown of the penultimate episode of WandaVision episode 8. What did you think? Share your thoughts about the episode in this video down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also like and share this video as well. And also follow my Instagram where you can get, again, the latest updates on when videos are coming out, and to just follow and look and admire some art that I regularly post. Alright, see you everyone.